Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on The Bright Side. Last we spoke, we were talking about zinc. Love this stuff. You know, when you study nutrition, you sort of get fond of specific nutrients. And the more you study them, the more fond you get of these specific nutrients. And I got a soft spot in my heart for zinc. It's good for so many different things. Zinc deficiency is really common. That alone should tell you how important a nutritional supplement program can be. You're not going to get zinc and a good amount of zinc from foods. You can get it in, as we were saying yesterday, high protein foods, seafood, grains, beans, nuts. Those will get you some zinc. But if you really want to get a good daily dose of zinc, you got to supplement with it. My favorite supplement is zinc picolinate, P as in Paul, I, C as in cat, O, L as in Larry, I, N as in Nancy, A, T as in Tom, E. Zinc picolinate, 50 milligrams a day, 50 milligrams a day. When you think about it, it makes sense that we have this culture that's so sick when something like zinc is such a common nutritional deficiency. Zinc's involved in hundreds of different chemical reactions, enzymatic reactions in the body. That means if you're deficient in zinc, and many people, if not most people, certainly most people who aren't supplementing with zinc, are going to be deficient in zinc. That means several hundred things aren't going to go right in your body. That's a lot, folks. And perhaps something as simple as zinc deficiency is behind many of the degenerative diseases that we're dealing with, including skin diseases. This is where I found zinc to be such an important and powerful nutrient and nutritional supplement, because you take zinc out of the diet in laboratory animals and almost immediately blemishes will start to appear. Skin rashes will start to appear. Zinc is super important for acne. You guys, if anybody you know or if you are dealing with acne blemishes and you're not supplementing with zinc, you're missing the boat. You're missing the boat. That's how important zinc is for the skin. You can immediately induce or relatively quickly induce acne blemishes simply by taking zinc out of the diet. Last program we were talking about flaky skin and dandruff. Flaky skin and dandruff are another sign of zinc deficiency. This should come as no surprise when you understand the importance of zinc for keeping cells growing and dividing at just the right pace. Got 50% to 60% of Americans are suffering from dandruff at one time or another in their lives. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. Half, or more than half, of Americans are dealing with a health issue like dandruff. Now, sure, dandruff doesn't sound like it's all that significant, but it's a sign. It's a sign that something's messed up in the body. Does anybody out there think it's possible that you can have skin cells that are messed up without having other things in the body that are messed up? That's not how it works. This reductionist medical model that wants to isolate specific symptoms and specific diseases and divorce them from the rest of the body doesn't work, because the body is a whole. If you're breaking out in one place, or if your cells are messed up in one place, they're messed up everywhere. The body is a monolithic whole. And so if skin cells are whacked out, they're not growing correctly, they're not dividing correctly, you can rest assured other cells, you got 200, 220 different cells, other ones are going to be messed up. It's not like you can just have one cell type that's messed up. That doesn't even make any sense when you think about it. 50 to 60% of Americans are suffering from dandruff at one time or another. That's pretty amazing when you think about it. We say 1 out of 3 Americans have fatty liver disease. 1 out of 3 Americans are obese or overweight. 1 out of 3 Americans have diabetes or messed up blood sugar. What does this say about a culture that's filled with doctors who are so proud of themselves, they're so self-congratulating that they're probably going to get arthritis from patting themselves on the back about how wonderful their profession is? What does it say about a culture where we have these doctors and a medical model that deifies itself, and we deify too? What does it say about a culture when you got these kind of numbers that are associated with disease and poor health? A culture where 1 out of 3 Americans are sick on many, many levels. In the case of dandruff, researchers have been studying dandruff for decades. Billions of dollars have been spent on researching dandruff, and we are no closer, from a medical perspective, to figuring out what the heck is going on than when we started. Still doing the same silly things. Head and Shoulders came out 50 years ago almost. And we're still doing the same things for dandruff. We're washing our hair with a dandruff shampoo. That's how we get rid of dandruff. Yet when you understand the skin, and when you understand skin cells, you understand how cells divide and how cells grow, it's not really difficult to pinpoint the cause of dandruff. It's skin cells not dividing, not differentiating, not changing, not sloughing off, falling off the skin, falling off the surface of the skin as they should. It's as simple as that. Skin cells not doing their business. Remember, all disease is cell disease. Dandruff's no different. Acne is no different. Dry skin is no different. All disease is cell disease. In the case of dandruff, you've got skin cell disease. Scalp, skin cell disease. Scalp, skin cells are sick. So what do? Well, if you really want to take care of dandruff, you do the same thing that you do if you really want to take care of anything. This is so important, and probably the most important pillar of what I call the bright side philosophy is that if it's all disease is cell disease, it doesn't matter whether it's heart disease or whether it's dandruff or whether it's acne or whether it's cancer or whether it's anything, osteoporosis or diabetes or whatever. You address the cell. You work on the cell. Oh my God, what do I do? How do I work on the cell? It's simple. Can your doctor help you work on the cell? No. Can the medical model help you work on the cell? No. But that doesn't matter because we can do it ourselves. Hang tight. I'll tell you what I mean when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 855-660-4261 is our number. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. Okay, we're talking about dandruff and just using it as a poster child or as an icon for breakdown and disease. Dandruff doesn't sound all that significant, but if skin cells are messed up on your face or on your head, if you have acne or you have dandruff, chances are you've got other cells that are messed up too, and you're running higher risk for disease. If you have some cosmetic or superficial skin cell breakdown, you're running higher risk for all kinds of things. So it's not just cosmetic and it's not just superficial to correct dandruff or to correct acne or to correct eczema or to correct psoriasis. It's really about saving your life. It's really as significant as reducing your risk for horrible, horrible degenerative diseases that can hit you in the long run. If you're suffering from psoriasis now, you're at higher risk for all kinds of ugly things, including cancer, including a shortened life, including immune diseases and autoimmune diseases. If you have acne, if you have dandruff, this should just be common sense because cells don't break down in an isolated individual fashion. If cells are breaking down on the top of your head, they're probably breaking down on the bottom of your feet too, or in between. So treating dandruff from a nutritional standpoint is so important because you're treating everything. You're reducing your risks for degenerative disease when you treat dandruff correctly. When you address skin cell issues, you address everything. So what do you do if you have dandruff? Well, all disease is cell disease, right? So what's the causes of cell disease? There's only three. Three and then leading to a fourth. Starvation, suffocation, toxification, leading to inflammation, which in turn leads to more starvation and suffocation and toxification, which leads to more inflammation. And onward we go on this downward spiral of breakdown and disease. So what do? Well, you do the same thing for dandruff that you do for anything. Number one, you address toxicity, and this is not necessarily in this order. You do all these simultaneously. Address toxicity. When cells are toxic, disease shows up. When skin cells are toxic, acne shows up. When scalp cells are toxic, dandruff will show up. So what do you do to reduce toxicity? Well, first of all, you stop putting the toxins in the body, and there's lots of them. If you're eating the corporate swill, and I hate to be Mr. Food Nazi guy, but I'm just telling you like it is. I'm just keeping it real as far as health goes. You know, eat whatever we want to eat. That's no problem there. But understand that if we're eating the corporate swill, it's going to be very difficult not to have toxicity in the body and not to have toxic cells. Number one on the list of toxins in food is sugar. Now, I know you need a little bit of sugar. You need a small amount of sugar to run your body and run your brain, but a small amount of sugar. Not the kinds of sugar we're eating. We're eating a half a pound a day. As Americans, we're eating a half a pound or more of sugar a day. So what is half a pound? Half a pound is right around 40 to 50 teaspoons of sugar a day. Imagine this, 50 teaspoons of sugar a day, right? At any given moment, if you're healthy, you'll have around 1 teaspoon of sugar in your entire bloodstream. And then we eat 50 teaspoons of sugar. What do you think that's going to do over the course of time? If sugar is a toxin, well, you have your insulin system, you have your blood sugar system that can pull sugar out of the blood and protect us a little bit, but over time it gets pooped. It gets overwhelmed. That's called diabetes. That's called prediabetes. That's called hypoglycemia. It's called metabolic syndrome. And it's very common. So number one, if you have dandruff, eliminate the toxicity. Chief among those is sugar. Secondly, patch up the gut because this is the main entrance point of toxins. And you will find surprise, surprise, that most people who have dandruff also have associated digestive conditions. Most people with any skin problem have associated digestive health conditions. And I know we talk about this all the time, but it should be a no-brainer. It should be a no-brainer. And the good news is we can do it ourselves. You can do it yourself. We don't need a doctor to patch up our gut. There's nothing a doctor could do anyway. How do you patch up the gut? Well, aside from stopping not eating the toxins, make sure you're using nutrients that help rebuild the digestive lining. We've been talking about zinc. You know, zinc is one of the most important nutrients you could take for helping rebuild the digestive lining. Zinc is important for the growth of cells. The cells of the digestive lining are constantly breaking down, as you would expect, because they're constantly working. No problem, because just like they're constantly breaking down, they're constantly being rebuilt, as long as you're not toxic. So, first of all, patch up the gut with zinc. Use your Fucoidan Z. Fucoidan is a wonderful way to help patch up the gut. Noni juice, aloe juice, also great strategies for patching up the gut. The glucogel caps, another great strategy for patching up the gut, helping the digestive lining repair itself so the toxins don't get into the blood. Essential fatty acids also important for helping patch up the gut. Bone soup. Well, listen to all these different ways, all these different strategies. Anybody who has dandruff, if you're trying your dandruff shampoo, it's not working, have you thought about zinc or essential fatty acids or the Z-Radical or the Fucoidan Z or the glucogel caps? These are way more important strategies for helping take care of your dandruff, helping take care of your flaky skin on your scalp or anywhere else on your body than Head & Shoulders is, or that anything you can get from your doctor is. Not that there's anything you can get for your doctor for dandruff. The second leg of our triangle, or 3 points of disease, if you will. Oxygen. Make sure you're breathing correctly. Yes, deep breathing can help your dandruff via this oxygenation connection, blowing off carbon dioxide. Exhaling can help your dandruff via this toxicity connection. When you blow off carbon dioxide, you're also blowing off acids and you're also blowing off toxins. That's why exhalation is important, and that's why exhalation may be even more important than inhalation. At least you want to exhale a little bit more than you inhale. And then thirdly, get on a nutritional supplement program. If you have dandruff, get on a nutritional supplement program. If you have dandruff, get to brightsideben.com. Get yourself at the very minimum, on the Healthy Start Pack. The Beyond Tangy Tangerine will get you all your basic nutrients, and the essential fatty acids are incredibly important for dry, scaly, dandruffy skin. In animals, in laboratory animals, rats and other laboratory animals, they usually use rats for this, but it's well known that if you take essential fatty acids out of the diet, animals will develop scaly skin, they'll develop an impaired skin barrier, and they'll develop skin that is deficient in basic fats. No brainer, it should be common sense. Now you can take your ultimate EFAs, but you can actually even put your ultimate EFAs right on your dry, scaly skin. A little bit tough with your dandruff, with your hair, if you have dandruff, but if you have acne or you have dry skin, you can break open an EFA capsule and put it right on your skin. Or you can go get yourself some borage oil. We talked about GLA last week, which is a very, very important essential fatty acid for the skin. And for dandruff, you'll get GLA in your ultimate EFAs and ultimate EFA pluses. Of course, you want zinc as well, 50 milligrams a day. Probably want some selenium too, your ultimate selenium. I'm saying here, folks, the bottom line is if you have dandruff, just like if you have any other health condition, you have options. You have healthy options. You have nutritional options that will help save your life, unlike drug options that will help shorten your life. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back after this. Okay, we are back on The Bright Side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. I got lots to talk about here. I want to cover some more about acne and some more about a skin condition called keratosis pylorus that a lot of people get, especially women. Little chicken skin, they call it. You get little bumps on your arms. And then I also want to finish up talking about dandruff. We'll do that tomorrow, I think, because zinc is so darn important and it's so relevant for all of these skin issues. Zinc's important for liver disease, diabetes. There's also a very important prostaglandin connection. I haven't forgotten about our discussion on prostaglandins. There's a very important relationship between zinc and prostaglandins. We talked a lot in the last couple of days the last couple of weeks actually, about essential fatty acids and prostaglandins, but there's a relationship between zinc and prostaglandins also. And we'll cover that tomorrow, I think, as we continue talking prostaglandin and skin health and overall health as well. And then probably, hopefully next week sometime we'll get into talking about another sort of prostaglandin-like molecule in the sense anyway that helps signal things. Remember, prostaglandins are chemicals that come out of cells, do a U-turn back to the same cell they came out of, or to cells in that area, and affect the cells that they came out of, or the cells of that area, to make those cells healthier, make those cells function or perform more effectively. No prostaglandins, that doesn't happen. Or the wrong kinds of prostaglandins, and that doesn't happen. And I would venture to say almost every single health challenge that we're dealing with, whether we're talking about acne, or whether we're talking about autoimmunity, or whether we're talking cancer, has some kind of prostaglandin connection, which means they're going to have an essential fatty acid connection, which means they're going to have a digestive system connection, and they probably have a zinc connection also. We'll continue our discussion on that subject tomorrow on the bright side. Time to hit our phones. 855-660-4261 is our number. We do have lines open for you. 855-660-4261. Let's go to New York and welcome Isaac to the bright side. What's up, Isaac?
Yes, hello.
Isaac. Isaac?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Hey, buddy. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing okay, thank you. My problem is I have bloating in my abdominal area.
Okay.
And another problem is I have pain in my rectum area. So every time I eat.
Every single time you eat?
No, I don't have pain when I eat, but what I'm saying is when I eat, I will eventually make a bowel. And when I make a bowel, my rectum area, I feel the pain. Like that pain is aggravated.
Yeah. You got something going on there. A couple things that you want to do. Now, when you have a bowel movement, when you evacuate your bowels and you feel pain, that could be something mechanical in there. And if it is something mechanical, the only way to know that is to check it out. So that's that issue. But the bloating is a little bit more concerning, and that may be related to the pain that you're experiencing when you have a bowel movement. Excuse me. So what you want to do, Isaac, is you want to see if you can relate or connect your digestive symptoms to the specific types of food you're eating. And this is so important, not just for Isaac. I want everybody out there listening to understand this. And I know if you've been listening to this program, you've heard me say this a trillion times, but it still bears repeating. Every time you have nausea, bloating, gas, heartburn, any kind of discomfort in the digestive tract area, link it to food. Link it to food, specific types of food. And there's no way to do it by memory because our mind or our brain, it just doesn't notice things that happen all of the time. So if something's been happening all your life or been happening since you were a little kid, we tend to not notice it. We tend to miss the connection. So you got to write things down, Isaac, and it will also help you to start eating simply. Practice something called a mono diet. A mono diet is where you eat just one kind of food. So instead of chicken salad sandwich, you just have a little chicken breast. Or instead of pasta fajoule, you just have some beans. Or instead of a big old salad with a lot of different vegetables in it and eggs and whatever fish whatever you want to put in the salad, just have some lettuce. So in other words, you're isolating you're making it easier to isolate your problems by eating very simply. And then you get a notebook and you write down everything you eat, and then next to where you wrote that down, you write down how you feel. And I guarantee you, Isaac, and anybody who's listening out there who wants to try this out, you're going to be shocked at what you find out. Because typically what most people find out is something that they've been eating their whole life and didn't know was a problem is actually related to their symptoms. Okay, it's unbelievable what people find out. You know, it could be something that you think is a health food. It could be something like tomatoes. You may be saying, well, I'm a vegetarian, all I eat is salads, but you could be reacting to tomatoes or bell peppers. There's all kinds of things that we can react to, and we don't know what those are until we start to focus on them, and the best way to focus is by writing things down. That's true. That's a rule of thumb anyway. When you write things down, it forces your brain to focus on things. That's why they always tell you, if you're interested in goal setting or you're interested in changing your life in any way, write down your goals, write down your vision. That's why journaling is so helpful for clearing your mind. Ask anybody who writes and they'll tell you when they write, it's easier for them to focus. When you write, it's easier for you to see or look at what's happening inside your mind or what's happening inside your body. So don't try to remember, write things down. Second thing you want, does that make sense first of all, Isaac?
Yes, I understand what you're saying.
Okay. Yeah. Secondly, that's the first part, okay? Because we need data, we need information. Secondly, you want to start to work on patching up your gut and patching up the intestine. The most common cause of digestive distress, all right? And this is so important because 80 million or more Americans are dealing with digestive distress on some level. The most common cause of digestive distress, Isaac, especially for bowel movements, by the way, is problems with probiotics or the microbiome, bacteria that live in the gut. As you probably know, in your intestine, when I say the gut, I mean the intestine. In the small intestine, you have trillions upon trillions of bacteria. In the small and large intestine, you have bacteria. And these bacteria are responsible for processing food. They're responsible for making vitamins. They're responsible for detoxification. And they're especially responsible for fats and fat metabolism. In fact, these probiotics, these good bacteria, actually communicate. They actually talk in their own way. They talk or they communicate to the cells of your intestine. There's crosstalk between bacteria and the cells of your intestine. And these bacteria tell the cells of your intestine to grow. These bacteria tell the cells in the intestine to protect themselves. These bacteria actually give or donate genetic material to your own genes. There's cross-genetics. There's a cross-genetic transfer. Bacterial genetics transfer themselves into our genetics. We basically have the same kind of genes in this way anyway, similar, some similar genetics to these bacteria. So in essence, these bacteria are part of us. In essence, these bacteria are us. And why is this so important, Isaac? And anybody out there listening, if you have digestive issues, why is this important, this incredible functionality of the probiotics and the good bacteria? Because most of us are killing off our bacteria through chlorine in the water, through antibiotics in the dairy, through poor food choices, through poor digestion. There's endless ways, really, where we conspire with our activities to kill off the good bacteria. That means poorly processed food, that means accumulation of toxicity, that means an increase in the breakdown of the intestinal lining, that means a lack of nutrients, a lack of vitamins, which these bacteria make. In essence, in short, that means a messed up digestive tract, which means you need to be on a probiotic supplement, you guys. And Isaac, get yourself on the Biolumin Nightly Essence today. I wouldn't wait an hour, Isaac, because every hour that you wait to start to correct this problem is an hour of toxicity. Go ahead.
I'm currently taking the Flora FX.
No, not good enough. Get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. Way better. And there's more, too. Hang on, Isaac. I'll finish up when we come back from our break. There's way more that you can do to support probiotic health. Hang on. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 855-660-4261 is our number, and we'll be back right after this. All right, we're back on The Bright Side talking to Isaac from New York. Got some pain upon evacuation of the bowel and then digestive. You said gas or bloating. How did you describe it in your intestine, Isaac?
Yeah, like my abdominal area, it feels swollen and like
very common, very common. What's not common is that you notice it. A lot of folks don't even notice the problem. So congratulations, you got step 1 taken care of. You notice the problem. Step 2, you got to isolate problem foods. Like I said before we went to break, a notebook, write down everything you eat, write down how you feel after you eat the food every few hours, and then focus on.
It seems like, from my experience, it seems, even if I don't eat bad food, I don't eat...
There's no such thing. Isaac, stop right there, my friend. There's no such thing as bad food, okay? It doesn't work that way. It's food that's bad for you. You follow me? Now, there's some foods are bad for everybody, like the sugar and stuff, but the point is you have to see how you react. No preconceived ideas. This is one of the biggest mistakes we make, in my opinion, when it comes to trying to figure out our digestive problems. We say, and I hear people say, not just you, Isaac, people tell me all the time, well, I eat really well. What does that mean, I eat really well? If you got a digestive issue, you got bloating, you're reacting to something. It's not magic. Nobody's casting a spell on you, right? Nobody's sprinkling magic pixie dust on you from the sky, and then all of a sudden you have bloating. It's something you're eating. So good food, I eat good, or I only eat organic, that don't cut it. If you have a digestive problem, it's a food problem. Don't mean to be beating you up here. I hope you don't hear it that way. So anyway, focus on your specific foods and link those foods up to the digestive problem. I guarantee you're going to find that there's one particular, at least, food that's causing you issues. Secondly, get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence, 3 capsules in the morning, 3 capsules at night. If you like sauerkraut, you sound like you're from Africa somewhere, Ghana, Nigeria. Where are you from, Isaac?
Oh, I'm from here, but my family's from Haiti.
Oh, Haiti, okay. Okay, do they have fermented food in Haiti? Is there a fermented food that they like to eat? All cultures have a certain fermented food. Do you know what I mean?
Cornmeal.
Fermented? It's fermented, though, with bacteria. You need the bacteria is the point. There's a really cool book called The Art of Fermentation, which is one of my favorite books on fermenting food. Basically, what you do if you want just to make your own fermented food, you just get a cabbage and throw some bacteria. They call it a starter pack on there, and then cover up the cabbage and let the bacteria go to work, and they turn it into sauerkraut. Borscht, miso, tempeh, pickled beets. There's all kinds of fermented foods, and these will provide bacteria for your colon in addition to the biolumin nightly essence. So you're getting your problem foods taken care of. You're linking your problems, you're linking your health issues, your digestive issues to specific foods, eliminating those foods. That's step number 1. Step number 2, the biolumin nightly essence, and then eating fermented foods. Step number 3, for all digestive health issues, get on the Fucoidan Z, Youngevity's Fucoidan Z. 3 to 6 capsules a day. Start off with 3 capsules a day minimum. Make sure you're on the Healthy Start Pack for sure, and then use the Ultimate Enzymes after all your meals, and then in addition, do like a tablespoon or so, or I just swig it out of the bottle, of apple cider vinegar with your digestive enzymes with your meals.
Don't you take the Ultimate Enzyme before the meal?
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter before, during, after. So it's in your stomach when you got the food. So it's contacting the food. That's the point of it all. If it's before, it's during, it's after, as long as the enzymes are there with the food. And then swig on a little bit of apple cider vinegar to activate the enzymes. Between all of those, and there's the Healthy Start Pack, by the way, that's always a must-have. So make sure you're doing the Healthy Start Pack.
Yeah, I actually have the body digestion pack.
Okay, that has the enzymes. Then that has the enzymes in it. Then make sure you're using the enzymes and then washing it down with some apple cider vinegar. But also, I don't think there's the Fucoidan Z is in there, so you're going to want some of that too. And then I like the Biolumin Nightly Essence way better than the Flora FX. There's a lot more bacteria and you get enzymes in there. It's a little pricier, but it's worth it. Okay, and guarantee you, between all of those, Isaac, you're going to notice a difference, probably eliminate the problem entirely. And this is very important because your problem may start off as a digestive system problem, but it's going to tumble out of control, and it's going to end up with once you start off with a digestive tract issue, you can wind up with all kinds of horrible things that you don't want to have or even think about, Isaac. So it's very important you get this under control. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. Does that help you?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one more thing.
Sure.
Is it beneficial for me, and will I still get the full benefits from the supplements if I don't eat? Like to give my...
Oh, yeah. No, you mean if you don't eat with the supplement?
No, not just eat the supplement. It's just eat at all, like during the program, like the days.
You don't need to eat. No, eating's overrated. You need a little nutrition for sure, but you don't need to eat a lot of food. You can take days off from food. That's not a problem. In fact, that's good for you. Gives yourself a break. Gives your digestive system a break.
Okay.
All right. I got to move on, buddy. Thank you so much for your call. Hope we helped you. Thanks, Isaac. Okay, Nadia, what's going on? How you doing, buddy?
Hi, it's Nasima.
Oh, Nasima. I thought you were my friend Nadia. Nasim? Who is this?
No, I said a female. I thought, what's up, buddy? So I thought you.
Oh, no. You know, there's a friend. I have a friend named Nadia who's a guy. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, I was diagnosed with breast cancer 4.5 months ago. It was early stage. And I had a lumpectomy and then radiation. Unfortunately, I declined it, but they scare you and they say, it's
Of course protocol. They do. Of course they do. Here's what you need to do.
So now they want to put me on tamoxifen, which I'm refusing.
Well, you should. Read up on it. I'm not telling you should, but you read up on it. That's what I'll tell you.
I did.
Okay. It's horrible, right? It's horrible.
I'm not on it yet. And so
you want
my tumor was ER positive. I'll make it really quick for you. And the HERS too, if you know anything about breast cancer, it was negative.
Okay.
Now they want me to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go. You said HERS negative.
Yes, and ER positive.
Okay.
Estrogen and progesterone positive.
Okay.
And the tumor was 1.3 when they found it under they did MRIs. So
okay. Well, hang on. Here, the grim details, believe it or not, are not that important. They're only important to your doctor, who needs to know whether you should hack off your body or not. So they're not. What I need to know is other symptoms, because breast cancer is not the first thing that you get. All right. Breast cancer shows up after long-term breakdown somewhere. All cancers are like this. Cancers take years to develop. Decades to develop sometimes. Occasionally there's exceptions, of course.
Well, it didn't go anywhere. They took the axillary node. It was negative. And
well, hang on, my dear. Hang on. I want to help you. Here. Hang on. I don't need any details because I get the picture. We want to help you now. Okay?
Sure.
What have you had? This is, and you can either tell me or you can think about it because you may need to place some attention on this. What has been going on in your body? You sound like you're 30s or 40s, I'm guessing?
45.
Okay.
45.
So what has been going on in your body for the last 30 or 40 years in terms of breakdown? Stuff has been going on that you haven't noticed. It's been going under the radar. This is how the body works. This is how disease takes place. The body whispers to us. It whispers to us with a little bloating or a little gas. It whispers to us with a little dizziness. It whispers to us with a little hypoglycemia or low blood sugar. And then it starts talking louder and louder and louder. And finally it says, breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? It whispers and it whispers. So we got to find out what was going on underneath if we're really going to take care of this problem.
Well, what I believe mine was stress related.
Well, that didn't help, but that's not the cause. That didn't help. Absolutely. There's other things underneath. Now, your point is, first of all, stress, you mean emotional stress, I'm taking it, psychological.
Well, I lost my sister last year to colon cancer. We don't have
Okay. Okay, well, that's definitely an emotional stress and a psychological stress, and you're on the right track. You do need to eliminate those because that will suppress your immune system for sure. But what I'm talking about is physical stress, physiologic stress. And most of the time, that's a blood sugar stress or it's a digestive stress, which means you want to focus first. Cancer loves sugar. So as soon as your blood sugar is messed up and your blood sugar starts to rise, you're inducing cancer because cancer feeds on sugar. And as we get less oxygen, cancer hates oxygen. As we get less oxygen and toxicity builds up, again, we induce cancer. So first of all, we got to see where the physiologic stresses are coming into the body. The first thing is going to be...
I don't eat sugar.
Well, hang on, because I only got about 30 seconds here, okay?
Oh, gosh. Okay.
And then you can send me an email, put your phone number on there, and I'll work with you personally on the phone. But I want all our listeners to hear this. And when you say you don't eat sugar, that's great, but I call BS on that with all due respect, all right? There's no way you don't eat sugar because bread is sugar and oatmeal is sugar and pasta is sugar and rice is sugar unless you're one in 300 million Americans who don't eat any of those things, which you may be, I suppose.
Well, actually, I don't because I'm gluten-free, I'm soy-free, I'm sugar-free.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, sweetheart. Potatoes don't have gluten in them. So, potatoes a big lump of sugar. That's no gluten. You can be
potatoes get I eat sweet potatoes, so I don't...
Oh, okay, sweet potatoes. They don't have any sugar in them, do they? There's no sugar in sweet potatoes, right? Why do you think they call them sweet? Nadia, they're not sweet because they got... See what I'm saying here? You started off by telling me you don't eat sugar, and now I'm hearing you eat sweet potatoes. I don't care. I'm not beating you up. I want everybody to hear these are the kinds of things we think in our head. When Nadia's not unusual. She's like all of us. She thinks she doesn't eat sugar, but she eats sweet potatoes. Now, I don't care. Sweet potatoes have good things in them. I'm not beating you up about that. I'm just telling you, you gotta focus on these things. You can't have preconceived ideas. You can't say, I don't eat sugar. You can't say, I have a great diet. You wouldn't have cancer. You wouldn't have whatever it is you have. And please, Nadia, I love you. I'm not being mean to you. I don't mean to be mean to you. I want everybody to hear this so we can get better. And so we can actually address our health issues without having to go to a doctor who's going to cut our breasts off and drug us. All right, Nadia, send me an email, ben@ksco.com, if I didn't piss you off too much, and put your phone number on there, and I'll work with you personally. Thanks for listening, folks. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You've been listening to The Bright Side. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.